Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Life Stories. My name is Trent and I hope you guys are all doing awesome as always. Today we got a story or two coming at you from Reddit/idontworkherelady. So without further ado, we're starting off with a long one today. Our first story is titled, Ever Been Assaulted Over Knowing Who Mario Is? I have. Hey guys, Verified Lurker here, finally with a tale to tell. I've read a lot of stories, so I hope I get the general format of the stories correct. So, a bit of backstory first. This happened about 2 years ago, back when I was still a hopeless, unemployed high school student. My birthday had just arrived, and me being the absolute gamer I am, I immediately go to the local blue store with the yellow tag to grab some video games. I have a summer birthday, so my outfit is very casual. Just some shorts and a One Punch Man shirt and flip-flops. As I was perusing the time wasters, a very nice young lady comes up to me with her child. We'll call her NL. Excuse me, I'm looking to buy a game I don't remember for my kid, and was wondering if it would be suitable for his age. I look at the game and said that while the content itself is not graphic per se, there is cartoon violence in the game, and although I played the game when I was the kid's age, it was up to her discretion. The kid was in like 5th grade or something. She thanked me and asked if there were any other games I recommended. I gave her my recommendation, Breath of the Wild, won Game of the Year for a reason, and she thanked me and left. I turned around to head back to my inspection when I almost ran into a lady giving me the death stare. At this point, a boss bar would have appeared with the name Karen in menacing purple letters. She seemed middle-aged, a bit on the big side, and with a sun hat as big as Kung Lao's hat. Carrying a giant purse full to the brim, she stood with her hands on her hips, tapping her foot. She was about my height, 6'2", and wore glasses just so she can pull them down when she says she wants to speak to your manager. We will address her as Kay, for obvious reasons. Finally, someone who's not a moron. I'm looking for a game. As I'm a socially awkward coward, I stumble back, surprised. I'm sorry? Her nostrils flared for a minute and her eyes narrowed. I am looking for a game. Is it so hard to understand one simple request? As I've worked in customer service, plus being a generally nice guy, I put on a smile and try to help. Oh, my apologies. I don't work here, but maybe I can help you. What was the game you were looking for? I want the Mario one. I obviously look visibly confused, and she turns red. The Mario one? Are you that freaking dumb to not know what Mario is? I step back, arms up to calm her down. Ma'am, I know what Mario is. Which one specifically? She takes a step towards me, pointing a finger at me. What the heck kind of question is that? There's only one Mario, and I want that game. I guess she thought I thought there were multiple different Marios or something. I rushed to clarify myself. No, I know there's only one Mario. I'm asking... She interrupts me, shoving her finger in my face. Then get me the damn game. You teenagers think just because I'm old I don't know what video games are. But I do, so stop being a stuck-up, pretentious little crap and get me my goddamn game. I look around for help, but surprisingly, no one is around. I take a deep breath, keeping my temper under control. Ma'am, I'm trying to help you. I just need to know which Mario game you're referring to. Her mouth drops as if I just told her that her husband was murdered. Which one? Which one? Do you think I'm a freaking lunatic? Where's your manager? I demand to see them. At this point, I'm seriously considering just running from this lady to just have some slim chance of self-preservation. I say the oh-so-familiar words to the subreddit. Sorry, I don't work here, ma'am, and turn to leave. My mistake. As soon as I turn around, I hear her gasp. How dare you! Immediately, the back of my head is hit with what I assume is the back of her purse. I could not tell you what was in there. All I know is that it was definitely not empty. I fall forward, stunned. As I'm processing what's going on, she grabs me by the back of my shirt and slams me into the display cabinet. You work here. You help that lady out. You are nothing but a good-for-nothing lazy teenager who can't afford a real occupation. You probably still live with your parents, you degenerate. I'm dazed. Everything is a bit blurry as I'm trying to figure out what the hell I did wrong to upset her. On my birthday, no less. All the commotion and slamming and screaming has finally attracted an actual employee. We will call her KE for kind employee. Note, after the incident, we became really good friends, and she supplied me with some of the details for this post. K.E., you the best. The moment she sees her, Kay lets go of me and stomps over to her. I want this runt fired immediately. He refused to help me, swore at me, and when I asked again, he assaulted me. I want the cops. I want to press charges. K.E. looks at me, a worried expression on her face. I can immediately tell she's not one for confrontations, and I nod to her. Sup, I say. Somehow, she understands immediately what has gone on, which is beyond me. She decided that the best course of action would be to separate us and prevent any further physical conflict. Ma'am, he doesn't work here, but I'd be happy to help you if you'd follow me to the desk. At which point, she pulls out her radio in order to ask for some help. However, just as she says the word help, Kay smacks the radio out of her hand and is now screaming at her. No, you are going to help me now, or I'll get you fired too. Do you know who I am? At this point, I've recovered, and I'm beyond pissed off. I just wanted to be helpful, and instead, I get assaulted, berated, and now this poor innocent girl is at risk of losing her job? I'm not having it. I say, I don't care who you are. It doesn't change the fact that you are an absolute tool. I hope to take her rage off of the employee and back onto me. My plan worked flawlessly, except for one problem. I forgot she was violent. Immediately, she ripped a display Nintendo Pro controller off of its port and threw it at me as hard as she could. It missed, but it broke immediately and cracked a display case. I rose to my feet and made a shooing motion to K.E., in which she ran to get some help. Kay stomped towards me and grabbed me by the collar of the shirt. Her face is so purple, I'd be concerned if I wasn't absolutely livid. I know the creator of Mario. He visits me from California all the time. He will have your job and the job of your brat coworker in an instant. I snorted at the stupidity of the statement, which serves to only enrage her further. Ma'am, I don't work here. In fact, I'm unemployed. The only reason I helped in the first place is because I play video games all the time and thought I'd do something nice. Kay then pulls me close to her, screaming directly into my face, spit flying everywhere. You work here, and even if you didn't, I'd make sure that you don't get one anywhere else. After several more minutes of her screaming in my face, the manager and security come to the aisle and separate her from me. K.E. comes along and asks if I'm okay, to which I reply, pretty sure, with a dumb grin. You know the drill. M for manager, S for security. The manager says, all of you, I need you to come to the back so we can understand this story. K is livid, but S looks like the head bouncer at a club, not to be screwed with. She huffs, and we walk down to the security office. Once there, K.E. asks if she can get some ice for my head, to which I say yes, and she runs off. He sits us in chairs on opposite corners of the room and asks us what happened. I start to speak, but of course, Kay interrupts me. This brat of an employee told me to F off when I asked him where a game was. When I said that was rude, he turned around and grabbed my arm. He called me a fat bench and told me that he would break every bone in my body. I only tried to defend myself. Then, that other brat came and called me a slur I will never repeat, to distract me while the other got up to attack me again. I couldn't believe it. I was just slack-jawed at what this woman was trying to claim. K.E. came in, gave me the ice, just as the manager turned to face me. Well, that seems very, very troubling. What do you have to say about this? I open my mouth when Kay screeches. You don't believe me? I knew it! I'll have all your jobs for this! Fire this man immediately! S tells her to zip it. M gestures for me to go on. I explain what happened, trying to speak as calmly as possible. N.E. chipped in at a couple of points that I couldn't remember after getting hit in the head. All the while, K was scoffing as if we were being ridiculous. M takes a deep breath. K.E., take him outside while I speak with K alone. Don't leave just yet. K.E. helps me out the door. I was completely fine at this point, but K.E. insisted. She's such a kind person. The moment we leave, we hear screaming coming from the other side of the door. K.E. takes me further away, and we sit on some chairs nearby the restroom. So, I learned about this part afterwards from K.E. Apparently, M had said that he was going to go check the security cameras. Kay's face whitened immediately, and she immediately started going ballistic, which is what we heard. She claimed she would have lawsuits filed for the company and demanded to have the corporate number. By that point, she ensured her guilt. So he had S detain her while he double-checked. Police came and arrested her for property damage, assault, harassment, and a whole list of other charges. KE and I were talking about where we were from when we saw the police enter. M approached us and told me that he was incredibly sorry that I had to go through with that. He offered to help me with pressing charges. As much as I wanted to, I get nervous about legal proceedings and prefer to stay away from that kind of stuff. I just said I wanted to make my purchases and go home. M nodded and said that whatever I purchase, he would let me have one other game of equal value. I purchased Pokken Tournament DX and then decided I would take Xenoblade Chronicles 2 as well. KE checked me out and then gave me her Discord username and tag so we could chat later. I made my purchase and left. On the way out, I saw the police taking her to the cruiser. Deciding I needed the final word, I shouted at her. Mr. Shigeru Miyamoto called me from his office in Tokyo, by the way. He said he doesn't know you and never wants to know you. It sent her into an angry spitting and kicking state, and the police looked at me in disapproval. Honestly, I didn't care. I went home and sat in front of my TV and stared at the game downloading for 30 minutes. Nothing I would have done that day would have topped that. Now usually with stories like this that end in people getting free stuff, I usually go, hell yeah, free stuff, that was worth dealing with. But this is probably the most aggressive Karen I've ever read about, so getting Pokken in Xenoblade is good, but was it really worth getting chucked around like a ragdoll? I don't know. Anyways, that was an especially long one, and as a result, we're out of time for today's episode. I want to thank all of you so much for tuning into Life Stories. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more Reddit content coming your way. My name is Trent, and I hope to see you guys soon.